I guess this video is basically just me having an existential identity crisis, but not wanting to be alone in it. So I'm forcing you all to join me on the journey. Hi besties, welcome. Today, I hope your day feels like when you discover a new television show or movie and you're just obsessed with it and you look up everything about the actors and the characters and it just fills your heart with a lot of joy. In other news, I started watching Ted Lasso a couple days ago. This morning I woke up and was contemplating the age-old question, who am I? And I thought, who better to help me answer that question than buzzfeed.com? I feel that this will go poorly. This week's video is sponsored by Book of the Month. You've probably heard of Book of the Month before because they're super popular and growing crazy fast all the time. But in case you haven't, let me tell you what the deal is. Book of the Month promotes new and emerging authors while helping readers like you and readers like me discover new books that they will absolutely love. Every month, their team looks at hundreds of new and early release books and decides on a curated list that their subscribers can choose from. That way, you as a reader can spend less time researching what book you're going to read next and more time actually reading that book. One of my favorite things about Book of the Month is that it's risk-free. So if there's a month where you don't see a book that you're particularly interested in, you can skip it, you will not be charged, absolutely not a problem. First up, we have A Little Hope by Ethan Joella. This is an inspiring adult fiction novel that follows a neighborhood full of people whose lives interconnect and weave in and out throughout the course of the book. The Collective by Allison Galen. This book follows a group of mothers whose daughters have all been wronged somehow, and they come together to seek revenge. The Keeper of Night by Kylie Lee Baker. This follows Ren Scarborough, who is half London Reaper and half Japanese Shinigami. K.M. Jackson's How to Marry Keanu Reeves in 90 Days, in which a woman goes on a quest to do exactly that with her best friend. The book I chose for this month is The Family by Naomi Krupitsky. This follows two young women who are daughters of the mob in Brooklyn, New York. I recently went on a gangsters tour of Chicago, and ever since then I've been dying for more gangster and mafia related content. Will, which is an autobiography that Will Smith has written with the help of Mark Manson. My Body by Emily Ratajkowski. I'm also super stoked to read this one. If you walked into a bookstore to pick up any of the books I just showed you, it would be upwards of $20. But if you sign up for Book of the Month today, you can get your first new release hardback for only $9.99, and it gets shipped right to your house so you don't even have to leave home. Book of the Month is an awesome, hassle-free service, and if you want to get your first hardback for $9.99, use the code COZY when you sign up today. All throughout middle school and high school, when I was in math class, I just took BuzzFeed quizzes. So math has never been my strong suit, and I blame BuzzFeed. I thought it'd be fun to just sit down and take some book personality quizzes to try to jigsaw puzzle together a sense of identity that I can then move forward with in my life and project onto myself and others. Because right now, it's lacking. Who am I? I don't know. Let's just get started. I found this list of 17 quizzes for huge bookworms. That's me. That's probably you if you're watching this channel. So let's take some of them together. This first one says, these 7 questions will determine which literary heroine best matches your personality. I see Emma and Lizzie Bennet as options at the top, and if I get Lizzie Bennet, I'll be thrilled. If I get Emma, I will delete my channel. Which genre do you read most? These are not good options. I guess out of these, I would say coming of age. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like Sally Rooney. Choose a modern day interpretation of a classic text. Ooh. Okay, I'm torn between 10 Things I Hate About You and Easy A. I have to go with 10 Things I Hate About You because it's based off of a Shakespeare, and I haven't read The Scarlet Letter. Heath Ledger is in 10 Things I Hate About You. Pick a line from a book you read in AP Lit. I don't know what either of those first two are from. Nowadays, people know the price of everything and the value of nothing. I do love that quote. What are men to rocks and mountains? This is one of my favorite lines of all time. It's from Pride and Prejudice. I have to go with What Are Men to Rocks and Mountains. Pick a celebrity who's known for their period pieces. Obviously, Saoirse Ronan. I can't get into how much I love Saoirse Ronan, but she is my favorite actress. Which classic literary villain gives you the heebie-jeebies? I love Lady Macbeth. She doesn't give me the heebie-jeebies. She's a girl boss. She did what needed to be done. She saw an opportunity, she went for it. Can we really fault her for that? The White Witch always did really creep me out as a kid. Norman Bates, I mean, he's freaky. I think I gotta go Norman Bates. I'm currently reading Frankenstein, so jury's still out on Victor. If your life was a novel, choose an adjective to describe your character. This is one of those where I want to put something because that's the person I want to be, but what am I actually? Because I want to put curious, but I know that I'm headstrong. I have to put headstrong for the sake of being honest. Finally, choose an estate for your story to take place. Well, these are beautiful. Is that Downton Abbey? Honestly, none of them. It's way too much house for me. Just a cute little cottage, maybe? I think I have to go for this cozy column. No, I hate columns. Oh, this is a thing now that you'll find out about me. I hate columns on anything that they don't belong on. Who needs columns on their home? Are you Zeus? I'll go with the historic castle. I feel like there'd be good ghosts in it. I had two very different reactions to that because I hate this cartoon of Alice in Wonderland, but I love the book and I love Alice in the book. So actually, I'm fine with this. This is fine. You're whimsical. I don't know if I would say that I'm whimsical and have a thirst for knowledge. Whether it's diving headfirst down the rabbit hole or enjoying a wild tea party, you're always the first to take a bite out of the eat me cookie that we call life. That's nice. What classic book matches your personality and what does it say about you as a person? This is what I need. Okay, choose a Disney movie. Tangled, I really love Tangled. The Lion King, iconic. But Hercules, so good as well. I think I have to go Tangled. Which image calls to you the most? They're pretty quiet, but I have to go with this mountainscape. Choose a pet. I've kind of always wanted a pet snake, but I've never been able to get over the whole feeding it live mice thing. Never in a million years would I get a bird as a pet. I'm currently trying to get a dog, so part of me wants to say dog, but I also know that I am a cat person. For the sake of the personality aspect of this quiz, I'm gonna say cat. Pick a color. I've always said that blue is my favorite color, but recently I've discovered that forest green and like emerald green is my power color, and I feel very powerful when I wear it or have it near me. So I have to go with that one. Choose something to snack on. Ooh, I don't want to be that person who like puts the one healthy thing because I hate those people, but I do love strawberries. I'm gonna go chocolate. And lastly, choose a beautiful sky. This one, I like the night sky. Othello. That's a terrifying personality assessment. Oh my God. You're attached to your work, even though friendships are what bring you the most fulfillment. I mean, yes, friendships bring me the most fulfillment. I wouldn't say I'm attached to my work. I do not dream of labor. You feel like you have a duty to do good in the world, even though technically you don't really owe the world anything. You're very trusting, sometimes to a fault. You're a natural born leader and people look to you for your excellent advice and support. Beware of those who are jealous of your success. I did not expect to log on to buzzfeed.com at 9:51 in the morning and get read to filth. That was shocking. Choose some young adult books and we'll reveal a deep truth about you. Yeah. Let's do that. I would like to know another deep truth about me. Pick a book that will make you cry. All 4 of these books made me cry, so I don't know where to go from here. I will say when I was obsessed with John Green in middle school, The Fault in Our Stars did make me like bawl like a baby. And The Perks of Being a Wallflower, the movie, I look disgusting at the end of that film. I mean, I look like I have been through absolute trauma. But if we're just talking about the book, I think The Fault in Our Stars, the book, made me cry more. Pick a classic book. I've read all of these except for The Outsiders. I know, I need to. It's on my shelf, and out of the other 3, Holes was my favorite. I loved Holes. Pick a book from the last 10 years. The Hate You Give. Easy money. Pick a dystopian book. Absolutely 100% The Hunger Games. Pick a romantic book. Oh, I was like, oh, it's obviously gonna be To All the Boys. But then I saw this book I have owned since middle school and have read it many times and really loved it. But it's been years. For the sentimental value, I have to go with Along for the Ride. Oh, so cool. Pick one final book. These are very different books, but To Kill a Mockingbird is one of my favorite books of all time. I don't like this game anymore. On the outside, it looks like you have it all. But I would not say that. You always stand tall and proud, but once you're alone, the insecurity really sets in. You constantly compare yourself to others and come down hard on yourself for the smallest of mistakes. At the end of the day, you need to learn to become the person you pretend to be when other people are around. Let's move on. Let's do the hardest game of Would You Rather for book nerds. Would you rather only be allowed to read new releases or only be allowed to read classics? I think I have to go with new releases. There's just so much more interesting stuff going on in books that are still coming out. Would you rather live in your favorite book but the main character hates you, or your favorite book character is real but they're actually super annoying? If we're talking normal people, I could deal with Marianne hating me, but I couldn't deal with Connell hating me. I gotta say I'll live inside my favorite book. Would you rather be allowed to read fan fiction but never write it, or be allowed to write fan fiction but never read it? When I was in middle school, I did write a One Direction fan fiction. It never made it anywhere public. It's literally impossible for anyone to find it, including myself. I've made it so that I cannot find it. It was very bad and stupid. And I was like 12 or 13. And then I also did write, this is truly one of the most embarrassing facts about my life, but I wrote a Les Mis fan fiction. Like, for the musical. That one also never reached a public space. There are things about myself that I do hate, and that's one of them. Would you rather never be able to finish a series or never reread your favorite books? Never finish a series. I have to reread my favorite book, and I usually don't read series, so I'd be fine. Let's do one more. Only bookworms have done at least 24 out of 36 of these things. Had a book hangover. That happens to me basically every book that I read, even if I didn't like it. Brought a book to a party or any other social event just in case. Yeah, what if somebody's late? Seriously considered joining a book club. I have joined a book club. It was called the Mother-Daughter Book Club. It was like my 6 closest friends in elementary school and our moms. Spent over half an hour browsing a bookshop. Only half an hour. Spent over an hour browsing a bookshop. There we go. Run out of space for all of your books. Constantly. I don't know if I remember a time in which I had space for all of my books. Dreamed of having a library at home. I actually do have a library in my home. My family has always had a library. It's never been a library intentionally, like that's not what it was made for in the house, but we have always picked a room that we turn into our library. We just have a bunch of books in them. That's what a library is. And we have like chairs and we sit in there and read, because we are right out of a Jane Austen novel, apparently, I guess. Stayed up until 3 a.m. so you could finish a book. The last time I remember doing that was the Song of Achilles. Now I'm like elderly, my brain turns off at midnight. I just have to accept it and carry on because there's no fighting it. Felt so disappointed by a book's ending that you've ranted about it to someone. Yeah, duh. What do you think this channel is, BuzzFeed? Been moved to near tears because a character you love died. Near tears? Near tears? Killed a whole tree with the amount of Kleenex I have had to use when a character I love dies. Reread the same book over and over again instead of starting a new one you bought more recently. I did that with The Fault in Our Stars in middle school when I read it. I read that book like 12 times in a row. Like at one point, the kid who sat next to me in my history class was like, how long is it taking you to read that book? And I was like, oh no, this is my 10th time reading it. I go to therapy. Owned a tote bag or badge proclaiming your love of books. I used to have posters that said like, I got 99 problems, but a book ain't one. Horrible, so embarrassing, but liked someone 100 times more after finding out they read and enjoyed a book you recommended to them. Oh yeah, every time somebody does that, I'm like, wow, let's get married. I have no idea who I am still. I thought BuzzFeed would help me. BuzzFeed didn't. I don't know what I'm doing here on this planet, in this chair, on this channel. I am having a crisis. Thank you for coming along with me. Comment down below when your last identity crisis was. Or if that's too personal, comment down below which book main character you think you're the most like and which book main character you want to be the most like. That'll be fun. Like this video if you liked it. A huge shout out once again to Book of the Month for sponsoring this video. Working with them has been a dream. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. I have lots of fun stuff coming up in case you haven't heard it today. I love you. Bye.